Charity starts at home.
Charity starts at home, but these countries don't need charity if they have space programs, if they have nuclear programs. The governments of these nations are clearly choosing not to spend the money where it's needed, much like the governments at home are not choosing to spend the money where it's needed. You rely on outsiders, charity.
It's an issue of prioritisation, isn't
The
it?
problem is that, as we have discussed already, charitable funds don't often go to the actual cause itself. A large percentage, at the very least, more often than not, goes to administration fees, the payment that is required to employ people, because most charitable people aren't genuinely charitable, they simply see it as a way to make money. Like, how on earth can receiving a salary for running a charity be seen as charitable? The money that's being donated to the charity is being used to pay your salary, therefore not being used for what the charity was set up for. This is a waste of money.
When I was younger, I looked into doing charity work in just a local shop just to try and bulk up my CV, I think, as a lot of young people do. And they said that I had to, actually get a proper job with them, like work proper part-time hours, and and then it was like they only wanted full-time members of staff, and it was like, I just want to commit a bit of time. I wanted to just volunteer a little bit of my time as and when.
That's the whole point of charity, is that you are giving up your time, you're giving up your effort, and in certain instances even your own money towards a cause that you believe in. The problem is that the majority of people that support charity arguably don't believe in the cause. They do, however, believe in the feeling they get for being a part of a cause. This idea that they've done right, they can abolish some of their own sins and misdeeds simply because they've done something that is societally wide considered righteous.
I think the current model that charities have are ridiculous. I tried to volunteer over Christmas as well, like soup kitchens or something, just because I don't do Christmas, I don't care about Christmas, so I thought maybe someone could get something good out of the fact that I don't care. But they said that I had to commit to a certain amount of time and literally like get a job with them, and it's like, I don't want a job, I've got a job.
Yep. Well, charity has, once again, like so many other things that started off with genuinely good intentions, it's been turned, as you said earlier, into a business model. The problem with a business model is it's not about morality or principles. It's not about anything other than profit. And if you're not profitable, then you're a failing business. That's the problem. Charities need to be profitable.
But charities shouldn't have to be profitable.
No, they shouldn't be profitable.
They should be not for profit.
We're collecting whatever resources or money you're willing to provide us so that we might provide said money and resources that you have given us to those that need it. The problem is that the business model dictates that the people that are also collecting the money and resources also need money and resources. Therefore, technically, in a manner of speaking, you could argue that charity is beginning at home within the charity. But that in of itself isn't charitable, that's a business. There is no genuine charity anymore. There is intention to bolster one's image. There is the intent to acquire more money, to provide yourself with a stepping stone on a platform towards a better paying job, even if it's nothing to do with the charity with which you currently work in. It's all about progression. But the problem is that the model of progression today is that it is one that is more akin to fuck everybody else, take what you need, because you are the only thing that matters.
The whole world revolving around you?
Yeah, which is ironic though, because it means that there's no point in you having children if the world just revolves around you, because then your children are inconsequential also.
But we see this, don't we, in people bringing their children up. I think that a lot of parents purposely neglect not purposely, maybe subconsciously neglect their children because they're too inwardly focused.
Indeed, and I think that arguably it's quite evident that many people have children almost out of a selfish sense. This idea that they want a child and they think it will complete them. There is no outward direction of, I want a child to create a better human. I want a child so that I can provide for them that which I never had myself. It's never about the child yet to be born or that is currently in existence. It is arguably about the individuals that are about to create it. And that, to me, speaks volumes. The whole point of being a parent is utter selflessness, not selfishness. And yet, arguably today, what we do see is pure selfishness in parenting. And it's fucked. It's just absolutely fucked.
It's definitely having a knock-on effect to the next generation.
It's had a knock-on effect for several generations. I'd argue the past 3 successive generations have been failures as parents.
True.
Arguably, it probably goes back further because we're only ever skewed by our own inability to see beyond our own mortal years. Yet, I would argue that it is undoubtedly evident that parents have always failed. I think if they hadn't, we wouldn't be facing the same problems thousands of years later.
Guess you can never get it right as a parent, can you?
I think that's the thing. No, you cannot ever get it right as a parent, at least not completely right. But the fact of the matter is that you shouldn't be trying to. You shouldn't be trying to aim for a specific form of right or avoiding a specific form of wrong, because that means you're claiming that all children are arguably the same. That all human beings must be crafted into a similar fashion, in a similar kind of image, and that doesn't sit well with me. Because that's no different to the ideals of communism. It's no different to the ideals of an authoritarian state where the collective works for the benefit of the nation. But what is the nation in that instance if not just a group of old men and women sat atop a decrepit tower of poison?